Are you seeing this? Yeah. Yeah. This is a real executioner sword. It is made by Romance of Men. They're crazy. This is actually a commercially available executioner sword. They've sent us this sword for review. That's what we're doing. But the thing is, like, this is a very special sword. This is unique. This is unlike anything we've ever tested before. So because this sword is kind of special, we talked with Romance of Men, and we're going to be testing it against something special here. You know, this is called an executioner sword for a reason. Let's find out just how much it can execute.
Shadowversity.
Oh boy! This is going to be a fun one.
It is. First time on the channel. First time for you. I think the first time for me as well, even. Pig.
Pig! So
there's a lot of wasps around here, right? I don't like wasps, actually. Like, I'm super not into them, Shad.
The meat's just attracting him. We'll get through it. Just if you don't bother them, they'll be fine.
You say that.
So, Romance of Men, that this came out of nowhere. I did not expect them to do anything like this. No other company has done. This is a crazy sword. Okay, it is an executioner sword, which is a different ball game to like most medieval swords because it isn't made to be like combat ready. It's made to chop, hack, decapitate.
Yeah, has a singular purpose.
Exactly.
It is interesting though because I mean it is like a context because like historical versus modern reproductions are a very different thing. This one here, I reckon you could probably use on the battlefield because it's like a sword club. Kind of.
But like there are weapons that are equally as brutal, top heavy.
Yeah. I think the problem with this one is just maneuverability. Like it's quite heavy. This one comes in at around about 2.9 kilos.
That's
which
heavy.
Doesn't sound that much. And it's not. But the context is, because of the weight distribution, it's mostly in the blade.
That's like twice as heavy, nearly twice as heavy as the Dragon Whisper.
But again, a lot of the weight of a sword is mostly going to be, you know, long sword, etc., etc. The blade doesn't have too much mass in it. This one, most of the mass is in the blade.
Yeah.
So it kind of has like the giant sword problem, where it's the weight distribution more than anything else. Now, again, this doesn't matter because you are literally just trying to chop something. So you want all the mass in the blade. But it is worth bringing up because 2.9 doesn't sound like that much, but
you feel it. You definitely feel it. There are a lot of caveats and prep work to go through before we jump on this. So when we're getting ready to attack this pig carcass, and we sourced it from our local butcher. By the way, the exclusive video this week is us figuring out how to set this up and what angle of attack. If you're a supporter, you get it, you know, as your free exclusive video. And if you want access to it, $1 a month, Patreon, Subscribe Star, channel memberships, you get this, all the exclusive content.
Lessons have been learnt already.
It's worth watching, guys. Now, focusing on the sword, we do want to talk about the quality of the sword generally, as we usually do in our sword reviews, and then we will be getting to see what this thing can do against a real flesh analog. Okay, I guess content warning. We need to mention like it still has the head attached. Some people might find that triggering, but look. This is the type of pig that, you know, butchers chop up for your pork roast, and if you eat pork and everything like that, and if you find it too triggering that we will be chopping into a carcass, we apologize, but this is actually some real, like, historical, you know, what is it? Experimental archaeology. I do want to see how well a sword can actually dice up flesh.
Yes, but again, I wouldn't say this is like 100%.
No, there are complications, and we'll talk about the complications just before we go into the attack. Let's focus on the sword. Now, while focusing on the sword, even a broader picture, talk about a bit Romance of Men, okay? So this company usually has done katanas and even samurai armor, and they've only recently dived into the medieval sword realm, and they have hit it out of the park. Like, this is their...
We've got to stop promoting it. They're like 3 months behind.
That's right.
They're so behind.
Like this sword was so good. So many people have bought it. They're like 3 months behind.
There's literally a 3-month back order.
The Dragon
Whisper. They do have other variants that are basically identical, just a different pommel combination. I think they have like a fishtail and something else. So if you want to pick one of these up, there is almost identical swords, just a slightly different pommel, and you probably won't have a wait time. You should check with them if you're interested.
Yeah.
But this particular one here,
It's looking like
a huge delay.
at least a 3-month wait time, because this floored us. 10 out of 10 sword, absolutely brilliant. But look, this isn't their only great sword. By the way, we redid the handle. Tyranth redid the handle. Looks gorgeous. It's my favorite sword now.
It was a fair trade.
But their Aquila arming sword, it was like near an 8 or 9 out of 10 in the review. This thing is amazing, more available, great price. We have affiliate links for all these swords, because the thing is, the Executioner sword, I understand if it might not be your jam because it's so big and unique, but then that might be the very thing that'll attract you to it.
I do think there is a purpose for this. I'll get to that towards the end when we're like rating and stuff, but I do think that this is actually something that might appeal to a couple of people.
Well, the price on this bad boy of Romance of Men was like, what,
389.
389.
I think we should mention, this is not sponsored, but they did pay for this pig, right?
Yes.
Like,
well, it's a special sword,
Yeah.
and Romance of Men wanted to see us test it against something special.
Yeah.
And so we have been impressed by a lot of their swords. One of their swords we were not impressed by, and we kind of trashed in the review. What?
2. I wasn't impressed by 2.
I like that sword, and it seems like a lot of the people who watched the video liked it as well. Just because Romance of Men have sent us these swords for review, that does not, impact us. If the sword is bad, we say very bluntly, if it's bad, but if it's good, holy crap. And so we are also going to try and do some destruction testing things, but it's a different ballpark. The weight is completely different, but it looks solid. And on cursory analysis, triple fuller, dude.
Yeah, I like it.
Triple fuller looks great. The crossguard is simple, but the lines are precise.
But these lines here, very simple, but they give it some character.
It really
remember we
does.
had with the other one, the terrible sword that I didn't like. It was just so basic. Something like this just gives it a little bit of visual flair. Love the pommel as well, finished great. Wrap is great.
The wrap is actually,
tight.
they've got, I'm expecting it's a 3D printed handle,
Yeah.
but they're like a double riser underneath the leather. The stitching is good, and the peen on the pommel,
Finished well.
Like this is near flawless execution in the fit and finish department.
Pun intended. Anyway.
Yeah. In terms of historical accuracy, most historical execution swords oddly have 3 kind of holes towards the tip, which you don't see on this, and there's even debate of what they're even there for. But that's not to say there might not be a historical one that was just a blade like this. Very likely there was. And so I think in terms of execution of the historical accuracy department, full marks. It looks great. But having said that, I honestly don't know what an execution sword should feel like, right?
That's what I was going to come to, because I've seen, I haven't actually obviously personally held a historical example, so I don't know what the weight's supposed to be like, but I often err on the side that they are more refined and lighter than you would expect. And even with an executioner blade, this could probably be like 2.6 kilos and still perform exactly the same. It's just the weight distribution. That's what matters more than anything else.
That's the key.
I think this one here, I think what they've done is they've erred on the side of just something beefy, right? So I think this I'm just guessing here, I reckon this is probably a little bit heavier, if I had to guess.
You might be safe in that assumption. I don't know. I just do not know. We do have surviving examples of execution swords in museums.
Because this is thick. This is nearly like 6 millimeters thick with a ever so slight distal taper. We're talking like 1 to 2 millimeter distal taper. It's barely anything.
Yeah. So it is actually hard to judge the execution of the weight distribution of this sword because we don't have great points of reference to compare against. There's 3 wasps there.
There's
I think
like
5 now.
They're all going in.
Going in.
Anyway.
So I can't wait. Let's get to the cutting. We will try and do some other things, destruction testing, maybe even some pool noodles, depending on time. So the approach here is we want to see if we can do a decapitation. The thing is, now let's go into some of the caveats and lead in to the main event, right? So to begin with, it's real flesh, and usually pig carcasses are considered good analogues to human flesh, right? Thing is though, getting this in person, there are also some distinct differences which will impact the results. The big thing that we really noticed when we got this thing and had a closer look at how thick this neck is. This neck is like 4 times thicker than a regular human's neck, okay? And so I actually don't know if we're gonna be able to get through it. Now, also another caveat, the neck kind of spine attachment was severed at the abattoir because they need to do that as like kind of a check for disease or something like that. And so we're gonna either try and come in from this angle to get some of that, spine thing to see if we can get through the bone. But look at it, like, if we end up hitting the shoulder, it's going to throw off the cut. It'll be great if we could get a full decapitation, but this is a lot of meat to cut through, more than a regular human. And so even if we get a third of the way through into this, I would say that's equivalent of a human decapitation, right? But that's the difference. This thing was slaughtered last week and has been kept cool throughout that time. And so certain biological things happen once, an animal dies. And there is a difference between living bone and dead bone. And it depends how much the bone has had to kind of dry out a bit, but living bone is much more moist, and chopping into it is actually easier, and it's got more of a consistency to wood, where bone that has been dead for even a couple of days, it seems like, can harden more than if it was you're in combat or you're ready to execute someone right away. And so the bone actually might be harder to cut through as a result. These are the caveats that we want to mention. So even though there's going to be some interesting information we're going to gain from these tests, it's not a perfect analog, but it's going to be very instructive still. So it comes with, a passable scabbard. I like that they have like a leather kind of locket here. Not a fan of the paintwork that they've done. It's just basic wood. There is, kind of an issue. So this one here is actually split along the side. That's dangerous for this because of the tip. The tip has these kind of splayed, points. And if I really tried and hammered it down, I think I could get one of those tips to poke out of the side here. That's an issue.
To be fair, we did get 3 examples and the other 2 are fine.
Yeah.
So it's just that one. It might have cracked in shipping.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to finesse cutting with this blade, obviously it's not a finesse cutting blade. Can you do it? Well, we'll give it a go. The issue that I think it has is acceleration and deceleration.
Yeah.
Because it's so heavy, moving the blade fast enough to cut through something like this for finesse cutting, I think maybe. But then slowing it down enough to not smack the ground.
I think the whole purpose behind it is to use gravity.
Yes.
Just it's made to go up, down, chop as hard as you can.
I agree, but if people are going to buy this sword, what would you do with it? And I know what I would do with it, and that is training. This is a great sword for weight training, specifically
you're right.
to build up certain muscles that are really difficult to build up. For example, I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's just say when you do swordsmanship, you need to train your wrists.
Yeah.
You need some good wrist work. Problem is, swords are heavy, right? So a good way to do it is just like this to train your wrists slowly, right? You're not going to do this all the time. Is actually
not only that, your standard kendo movements, up, down like that. You'll feel the burn on your wrists really severe, and that's great.
Another good thing is structure in your body. Because it's so heavy, if you are not careful with it, it literally will pull you off balance.
Yeah.
So a good way is just keeping your structure with your strikes. It lets you...
that's a great idea.
As a training blade, I think it's actually not bad because that extra weight.
Not only not bad, great. I'm actually, now you've mentioned that, I think I'm going to blunt that and actually use it for that. Because I've got a weight training sword that's wood, and it's got a massive handle. It's awkward. I've used it, right? But that one has a proper sword handle, and that's way better.
Now, not that you can't do any of those things with a regular training blade. Of course you can. But because this has so much more mass behind it, it kind of, how would I describe this? It's going to punish you a lot more than a regular blade would if you're doing, certain types of movements. That's just my opinion, right? That's because what are you going to use this for? Put it on a wall. I think it'll look really sick.
Yeah.
And additionally, if you want something, if you're one of those dudes who likes giant swords and stuff, this is a great place to start.
All right, give it a go. Because this is actually...
I would love to see you do this though.
Oh, screw you, I will.
No. Not because... It's because this is not like a regular sword.
I know. Look, now you've
You need
convinced
to
me.
get speed to actually be able to cut through the things.
Well, I'm going to do low effort. Just use, gravity should help out with this one. So let's just go low effort at the tip, down. Ready?
Yep.
The weight on this, man. So, deceleration. Holy crap.
Difficult.
I felt that, man. So just going down, right? You want to, ready? Just like,
Yeah.
I did it. I did it. That's a cut.
A bit hairy.
That's a cut.
Isn't that interesting though? Because I think rising strikes for finesse cutting with this is better, but for actually using the blade, you want gravity to help.
That felt like crap.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do a horizontal with this.
Oh no.
I'm gonna try though. Because if I pull it off, Tyranth is gonna get really...
No, there's no way you can, and I just don't blame you. Like this one, no.
No hope.
That's just gone.
No hope. It's an executioner sword. It's meant to be
Well, because the thing is, right, if people buy it, right,
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to be cutting giant pigs, right?
Yeah.
I think they're going to try something like this. And I'm like, well, how fun is that? Yeah, you can do it.
Using that momentum.
That's what I mean. Giant sword training. Not
Yeah.
great sword, giant sword. Very different.
Another thing to mention, this skin, because it's dried out, is also tougher. Like this feels like tough, you know, almost coming, it's not full rawhide because it's not dried out, but it's tougher than it would have been if this thing was alive, right? And so there's all these caveats to mention that this is going to be a bit tough, but Tyranth, I reckon you're up for the job.
Why?
Because he's stronger than me.
Yeah, I know, I just want to.
And
get
I
that
want
on
him to
camera.
I know, right? And I want you to just go full power. This is going to be need a lot of
Look,
strength.
even I'm a little bit nervous for this one, simply because, like Shad mentioned, they've actually cut the head here, so it's way too thick to be 100% of an analog, right? So it means that I've got to hit like a 2-3 inch kind of like spot here to get kind of the perfect.
Yeah, because like ideally it would be good to go straight down here, but the neck's already severed here.
Yes,
and we don't want to cheat. So we're just going to go for it. Like predictions. If you get halfway, I would be impressed. I'd be like, that's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
And if we got halfway, that is easily enough to have taken off a human head.
Yeah. Because remember, human neck is only like what, 10 inches around maybe.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Look how thick this thing is, right? So there's so much more meat we're going through here. The bone is dead, the skin is dried out. So there's all these caveats that is making this much more difficult than if this was a human medieval style execution.
I love how you put all the pressure on me to do this.
Hey, that's what you get for me saying on camera that you're stronger. You wanted it, so this is the payment for such a glowing compliment. Deep cut.
That's through the spine as well.
You know, wow, we need to get close up of this. So look at this cut, right? You got through it. Look at all the meat that you got through, and this is the spine. This actually cut
It's through.
nearly through the spine, right? Right there. And so that is close to doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was close to. So could this take off a human head?
Absolutely.
I'd say, hell yeah. Holy. I'm not sure you. Hang on, did you hit spine again?
No, I cut straight down.
Yeah,
to the face.
straight down.
Interesting.
Wow.
You want to feel this? I just want you to feel it. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Look, I'm here. I'm just gonna do a cut. I need to feel it, right? Oh, wow. That is interesting. Oh. Wow. That is interesting. You know what? I bet historical executioner swords, when before a decapitation, are probably twice as sharp as what this is.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think they go, like, we're talking shaving sharp to ensure maximum.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
severing.
to be fair here, the first cut, and hell, I reckon even that,
Yeah.
because the neck is not so wide, right? It's
That's
making
true.
A lot
Like,
of,
look at
it's making a lot of
A
contact.
lot of surface area
Yeah.
slowing down that cut.
And the neck is, thinner and rounder, so it's much easier to get through. Do you want me to try and do one right where the blade is and just
Yeah.
see how deep we can get?
Yep. Powerful.
And into the shoulder bone.
Into the shoulder bone, yeah.
Have a look over here.
Yeah, I think sharpness plays a massive factor in this.
Yeah.
Because I buy steaks that are connected and cut them up myself because it's cheaper. And the sharpness of the knife, I'm not kidding, right? Is like you think a knife is sharp, and you actually get caught on some of the fat and gristle, and then you sharpen it properly, and it glides through like it's not even there. But that's when you get it mega, mega sharp. I'm talking shaving sharp. This was sharp, but not crazy sharp, right? And so, but even having said that, the results, whew,
Speak for themselves.
yeah.
Shad wants to do a leg.
Yes.
A braced leg, because I think this is a lot more, let's say, charitable. I would say, because it's
Braced on something.
It's braced on something.
I should have mentioned before we did the cut, the reason why we positioned it the way it was, it's like if someone was getting executed and they kneel down, they lean over on like a chopping block, and their head is like now, and neck is presented to the executioner. We're trying to simulate that position.
As close as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more charitable in this position, but again, we're dealing with like 4 times the thickness of a neck. So
Yes.
use your imagination. Use your imagination.
But now let's see if we can get through a limb. Not even a challenge.
No, that was nothing.
That was nothing. Look at that. Wow, that cut through like butter. Wow, look at that. Just whew.
I had a bit of a weird thought then. I'm like, imagine you had to take off a robber's hand, and there's a crowd there. You hit them there.
And the head flies off into the crowd.
So that's very morbid. I know some of you guys aren't going to like that, but too bad.
Yeah, but look, you even got into this one and nearly got through both.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So chopping off a limb when it's braced like this, not even a challenge. That's cake.
I know we mentioned it slightly before, but we'll mention it again. Remember, the surface area that we're making contact with here is literally 10 inches across.
Look at that.
That is a head off completely, no worries.
And not only that, this is a thick bone.
Yeah.
This is a thick bone, right? You can actually see the bone structure right here, where you got bone, 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 clean through. I think this is actually somewhat analogous to the thickness of a human neck. So, she's strung up, ready to test out, I guess, stationary target, but still not braced against anything.
Forged and fire-like.
Yeah. We are also filming, in conjunction with this one, a more general video of what's it like to, with regular swords, not executioner swords, how much damage can regular swords do against a flesh target. And so we're going to be jumping a bit back and forth. So we might come in and there might be extra holes in it.
Extra damage.
And other things. And so it's not going to be 100% consistent, because if we just chop off all the pig, well, now we can't test thrusting through the torso or something like that. So we'll see how we go. All right, so now different kind of angles of attack. I want to try and get this limb off right there. So, the handle, just like hoisting it up, is a different. We would just start testing other swords for thrusting in the carcass. It is night and day, the weight of this. It's a beast. Ready?
Yep. Pretty far.
I wasn't going full effort then, but dang, man. Right into the spine. Right into the spine.
I reckon I can do more with the Tachi.
I think I agree. But this is, you know what? I think it's sharpness.
I think it's speed.
You think it's speed?
Yeah.
And edge profile.
Yeah. Just as kind of like a comparison as a one-to-one to more of a regular sword, right? Just so you can see the damage between both of them, we're going to do an exact same cut, exact same angle with this.
With Tyranth's favorite sword.
But it is sharp and it is new.
So here's the thing about it. We've done a recent review of this one. It cut like a friggin' beast, and this blade is actually amazing. This is fresh, as sharp out of the box as we can get it. So to get a one-to-one comparison between a brutal sword and one that has a very refined blade that was brilliant at cutting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's give it a go. That's like double.
That's nearly twice.
So the bottom one is the execution, all right?
Probably halfway through the spine,
Yep.
and that's what really grabbed it. This went right through the spine.
Straight through.
Straight
I reckon
through.
like on a good cut, a little bit more power, you're probably powering through the whole thing. And I think this is down to the thickness and the weight of the executioner.
General, just the overall refined nature of a proper sword. Like, this is crazy. So, the execution sword is fun. I think the sharpness is playing a factor, but this is also
thick though. It's got a thick bevel though.
But this is revealing. Holy crap! Like a proper refined blade. There's a reason they were made this way, and they are insane. So you know, you live in the bush, you have a wood fire, you have some wood that needs to be cut up, and you got one of these, right? You know what the big advantages of this over an axe?
You got more blade.
Yeah, more blade cutting ratio. Like sometimes
No,
you
but
can
like
miss.
actually though,
Yeah.
I think this will make a great axe sword.
Well,
Because that's kind of what it is.
the difference is, I'm not sure how well it'll split it. Axes are made to wedge and then push apart.
Yes.
This has a higher chance of getting stuck.
But this has a very thick bevel.
It
which
does.
we found with, because there were thinner profiles that we tested that did deeper damage. How'd it feel?
Great, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, grab another one, have a go.
We got heaps. This one's bigger.
Oh, really?
This one's like twice as
Now,
big.
we should actually mention, this is Australian gum. It's actually a very dense wood. It's not easy to actually split and cut. Look at that.
I think that is
Gorgeous.
great. Easy.
That actually it feels great.
That was easy, yeah.
I mean, I might enjoy that more than using an axe.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually,
We're not kidding.
I'm not saying this for camera. I mean, I actually would enjoy this far more and it would be more fun for me.
Yeah, like axes are just as top heavy,
Yeah.
right? And this worked great.
Yeah, that was perfect. Now, obviously, there is a little bit of a difference because these are already kind of like pre-portioned. If it was, you know, like
A log
stump, right? But I also think that it would be, like, come on, this is how much? 2.9 kilos of steel
Yeah.
in a giant blade. I think we're good here. Well, I split the bottom one as well for
Yeah.
extra luck.
Yeah. So the only thing would be with this versus an axe is durability, how well the handle would absorb consistent abuse like that. Sword handles aren't meant to, you know, cop it like that constantly. But so far so good. And
We'll do one on this, just because that's our standard testing.
Yep.
And then we'll do a bit of steel. All right, you guys have seen what this thing is kind of capable of. I'm just gonna do a couple of taps just to really feel how it, you know, how the vibration is essentially. That's all we need from this test.
whoa! Dude, that is the most deflection we have ever seen on that beam.
Of course it is.
That was,
That was pretty good.
you could see the flex like in real time. That was
That-
nuts.
Felt good in the hand.
You know, I kind of expected that. It's just a overly built beast that'll just tank it.
Yeah, but let's see how
Edge.
that feels.
Edge, yep.
That is insane.
Yeah? What did it feel like?
How to describe what that felt like. This felt like, all right, every time we smash this steel, it's obviously a tug of war between the sword and the steel. And the steel always wins.
Yeah.
This was winning. This felt like this was stronger than
Exactly.
that.
This was going to break that.
Yeah.
And only slight damage. Only slight damage. I don't know if this is going to focus or not. But yeah.
That was
kind of
very
expected
unique.
that. Romance of Men, just they nail it with because they produce it and they get another manufacturer to help out and things and then assemble them. The manufacturer for Romance of Men, they nail the heat treatment on their swords so often.
I'm only going to do one flat.
Well, yeah.
Just because I know that it's not going to do much and it's just going to hurt my hand.
Yeah. How did that feel, Tyranth?
Unpleasant.
Yeah, I figured that.
That is like a big spring steel bar
Yeah.
smashing on another steel bar.
All right. This is a difficult sword to rate.
Yeah.
because it's hard to figure out what the correct point of reference to judge it against is.
Yeah.
It performed in some ways as well as I was expecting, but in other ways worse. And so I don't know if that's down to the type of sword or the execution of its, design.
Yeah, because what gradient are we grading it on, I guess?
I mean,
because like as a sword, what you would typically think of as a sword, it's not very good at that, because that's not what it is though.
No.
It's a axe sword type deal. And as that, it performs pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because obviously we've been, slicing up a lot of carcass today, and some of the results you can get with other blades that are just regular blades is insanity.
Yeah, you would expect an execution sword to be better cutter than a regular sword, but the thing is though, those were on regular sword kind of movements and attacks, where the big advantage, this is meant to just go up and down.
Well,
and it gets the weight advantage in that.
It does, but again, that, just the regular long swords, I think would take a head off easy.
They did really well.
So, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? I think that there isn't really many of these on the market. And
Only one to my knowledge.
And if this is something that you're obviously interested in, I think it is definitely worth the money. It is a beast. It's going to be able to handle whatever you want to do with your sword. It's going to be able to handle it.
Only the slightest rattling we have here, but other than that, this is
it's
great.
really cool in terms of on display. Like this is a conversation piece for sure, right? And then on top of that, like I said, for me personally, what I've been using mine for is just a bit of training. It's a good weight training. It doesn't mean this is all you should train. You should still obviously do regular training and regular weight training, but this is an interesting bridge between both of them.
So for me, it's really hard to judge, but I guess I'm thinking 7 out of 10 territory?
For what though? As an overall package, I think it's it held up perfectly fine.
For what you want, it gives you everything you want.
Yeah, it's just, it's not a sword that you would typically use for many things.
Is it even fair to give it a rating compared to other swords? Because it's just so different.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And if you had to put a gun to us and say, give us a rating, I think somewhere around the 8 mark is where I'd probably be with it. But again, that's against regular swords, and they're just not the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
but insanely cool.
Really cool.
Really cool. Affordable price for what you're getting. This is a big sword. A lot of steel.
You could cut this in half and have 2 swords.
Yeah. There is as much steel in this as 2 swords, right? So for that reason, I think, materialize and everything, fair price, really unique, comes with a scabbard, overall execution on the blade, the overall sword, handle is great. I can definitely recommend it.
Yeah, and I think it is one of those things that it's kind of unique to cut with, but fun in a way. Chopping wood is so fun.
Chopping wood was probably my favorite thing, which is odd. Look, we got to also chop up a pig.
Well, yes. For this particular sword, the wood part was my favorite.
The wood was just satisfying.
It is, yeah. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Romance of Men, for letting us be able to, do the pig. It was awesome.
And check out the other Romance of Men reviews, and stay tuned for the video where we just test the other Romance of Men swords against real flesh. Guys, it's amazing. But in the meantime...
That's something I've never done on the channel. So get ready for that one.
That's a lot of fun. And check out these videos in the meantime. We'll see you next time.